Welcome, guys, to my podcast. I have my friend with me here, Anya Bradford. I got this. I'm going to introduce.
Okay.
I'm introducing
I'm
you.
just going to sit back and
So
enjoy.
you're mom,
Yeah. Yep.
business owner. You're a wife. Mom and wife probably should have went in that order, but whatever.
Fine.
You know,
It's fine.
dyslexia kicking in.
Yeah.
You're the head broker person of Primerica. So you have people that are under you, which would be the regional vice president.
The regional vice president.
Regional to the vice president? No. Stupid,
Thanks.
dumb joke. Also, one of the best things, though, that would go on her resume, if you ever got out of all of that stuff, you would just, show off your husband. And
Yes.
and just make a lot of money from him because
try.
That's the best thing.
I have a trophy husband.
You have a trophy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's the accent.
Oh my gosh. It's a great accent.
It's a great accent.
He's got great hair.
Yeah. Is it now? So hold on, really quick about the hair. Is that going to last?
I think so. His dad still has a full head of hair.
Okay.
So.
Yeah. You're like, what is this podcast about?
I love it. My husband's hair.
Your husband's hair.
It is worthy. It is worthy of its own podcast.
You were a Disney princess, which is
I was.
whatever, lame. Who cares about
I know,
that?
it's fine.
The cool thing is you're a singer at your church.
Yeah.
All right, that's the cool thing.
That's the best part.
That's the best part.
Yeah.
Now, okay, so as a Disney princess, you were Maleficent, Mary Poppins. Who else am I missing? Probably a long list.
So
they rotate you through.
So I wasn't actually Maleficent. She's the one with the green face. I was the evil queen from Snow White, who is just, she is very beautiful in her eyes. She is very
surprising. You're saying that about yourself, huh?
No, like her job is to insult and belittle everyone else.
Right.
So it was fun. Like my job was to make kids cry. Give them an authentic Disney experience. It was. It really prepared me for parenthood.
Okay, so which is really funny because I think. Opinions aside, I think people would say I'm relatively a nice person. I had very few people in my life that
I would agree.
that didn't like me. But whenever I've done anything or whenever I acted mean, when I say acted mean, I mean I'm gonna say something really jerkish, completely outside of my personality. It felt really good to do that. It felt really good to do that. And I mean, people knew I was playing around. They're like, wow, Brett, that was really
It was significant because it was so rare.
Is that how you felt playing?
Yes, it was great. Like if there was any kind of drama or stress or, I had been burned or something like that, getting up on that float and just yelling at kids and throwing that cape around and it was a great stress relief.
Because you're the opposite of that. You're like this happy,
I really am.
For the most part, that's the sound effects that I would say that defines you.
I appreciate that. Sound effect. That's perfect.
Oh, that's Anya.
Yeah.
If I was a sound effect, I don't know what mine would be like. No.
Maybe like the boing sound.
Oh, okay.
That would be a good one.
Am I slapsticky comedy? I try not to be.
I mean, no, it's not slapstick. It's just random.
Okay,
There's
cool.
a difference. There's a difference.
Totally is. Okay.
Yeah.
So, so all right. So that was roughly your resume. Anything else I'm missing from your resume that you would say?
I was a professional skater at one point.
What?
Yeah.
Did I know that?
Just doing the tricks on the rollerblades and all that kind of stuff. It was one of the most fun things I've ever done.
Did you injure out? Did you?
No.
You gotta.
I never
pull a
fell.
hammy or?
I never fell.
Crazy, huh? Broke a knee bone.
Never fell.
You never fell in competition?
No. I that was for Disney, right?
Okay.
But never fell in rehearsal, in any of our parades, in the filming, because we did the big Christmas parade and they filmed it, and never fell.
Okay, but to get that good, you fell.
I'm sure when I was 12. Yeah.
Okay.
Got all my falling done in middle school.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I was really fun.
On a float?
No. We were on the street.
Okay, got it.
Yeah. Doing the tricks and
So in your Disney career then, when did that start to then when did you become were you a skater first and then characters?
No, I went in as characters.
Yeah.
And then they have these different parades and things and they're looking for talent and I was like, oh, I do this. So I auditioned for the skater role and got that. But I was also, in this Christmas parade, I was mainly a skater.
Yeah.
But if the Mary Poppins had to be out one night, then they would switch me to there and bring in the sub skater to take my place and I would be dancing as Mary Poppins.
Now, has that person ever fell?
I don't know.
Oh gosh,
I can't remember her
you're
name.
You're back up. Like, oh yeah, yeah.
I mean, we're just gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, you know.
You're such a nice person. The not Maleficent, but the evil queen. Like that was probably really good for you to get that stuff out because you're very nice. I get
Keep
it.
it classy.
Yeah. Okay. So talking business.
Yeah.
Somewhat talking business. Okay.
Yeah.
Schooling.
Yeah, I have a bachelor's in vocal music education.
And that got you anywhere? Did that do anything for you?
No, well, I wanted to study music because I
Right.
loved it.
Yeah.
And I loved performing. And I got the education endorsement so that I could teach if I wanted to. But really, I left college and went straight to Disney to perform. So then when I met Kevin and we moved up to Georgia, you know, they don't pay to be a princess in Georgia. So that's when I started teaching. And I will say having Disney on my resume and then the licensure to teach music education. I mean, I basically didn't even interview. They were
So you used your schooling.
for
So you didn't have
2.5 years.
You didn't have a. Do you feel as though you wasted your?
No.
Okay, because sometimes people are like, oh, they go and get their master's degree or bachelor's, and they're like, I never even used it.
No,
I just became a real estate agent.
I mean, I think the life skills that I learned in college and the maturity was well worth, you know.
Well worth the $150,000.
Right.
Are you sure?
No, I mean I don't know. It was a really significant time in my life. I would never undo it.
Got it.
If that makes any sense.
Got it. Okay.
You know.
Talking a little bit about so as you were growing in your career and certain things. You know Gary Vee? Mm-mm. He's like a business guru guy, really straightforward. And a lot of times people are like, oh man, he's really hard on people. But one of the things he talks about is like, actually, you want to do what you're passionate about, but you also like, what are you throwing away? And so there was one story that I remember a guy talked about where he was this big business owner, had a big team, but he was the happiest when like, I can't remember where he worked, but then he realized there was a long line outside of this like place, and then he just started selling hot dogs to these guys, and like he loved doing that.
Yeah.
But then he went and grew a business and became like this big time like whatever millionaire with a huge team. But he was like, yeah, but that was the time when I felt the most successful and like my happiest, when I was just selling hot dogs to a line of people. I might be butchering that story, but the idea is like, do you have a time and place where you're like, oh, this is where I felt like the happiest working?
Yeah. I honestly, you want me to be completely honest?
Be completely honest. I know exactly what you're about to say, and I'm like, why would you say that? You know I set up this story for you to give me a different time, but go ahead, talk about right now.
I mean, it's now.
I know. I saw it on your face.
Now. Yeah, I'm so happy because I do have a team. It's a pretty small team, right? But that means I can really invest in my teammates. I can really be there for them. But also it means my time is free to be here with people like you, right? Pouring into your life and hanging out with you and being there for my kids. We're going to go to Disney tomorrow. It's a Friday. Who takes a day of the week to just go and be with their kids and spend time with them? But they're small, and that's important to me.
Right.
And I just feel like I'm living the dream, and I'm not making the buku millions of dollars that, you know, a lot of people in my business do make a lot of money.
Right.
But to me right now, time is my most precious asset. So if I can have flexibility with that, you know, work and teach people a couple of days a week, you know, put on deodorant and look fancy. And then the rest of the days the rest of the days I'm just, you know, we got a messy bun. We're digging holes in the backyard. We're playing dinosaur, you know, like I love
playing dinosaur. What does playing dinosaur mean?
Yeah. It's like I'm the Triceratops and I'm coming
So you don't
after.
have toys.
No. Why get toys?
Yeah,
we are attacking each other with our roars. Even Bria, she's 18 months old. She's got the best roar. She's so cute. She just chases the boys. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I actually would roughly, you know, and I'll talk because they don't really know me. I'm kind of the same. When I had a little bit of a team, I felt, okay, this is good. So I could pass things off, but also I can take things on if I need to.
Yeah.
When I've had things completely by myself, but really busy, it gets really overwhelming, you know? So yeah, there is a line. There's like, I feel like there's a diminishing return.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I know like right now my kids really need me. They haven't started school yet. Once they're full-time into school, things change. you know. And so that's coming. Kai's about to be in kindergarten, you know, so I know that's coming. But for now, I'm just in this season. So
what kind of like, I don't know, if somebody was going to college or not going to, or they just coming out of high school, where would you, how would you, any kind of advice for like either a young adult or like a kid who's like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life?
Yeah, no, if they don't know like 100% what they want to do, I wouldn't pressure them to jump into like some kind of scholastic study program or a collegiate experience, because you are going to end up wasting money. You're going to end up, you know, kind of regretting it, maybe even resenting those years where you just spun your wheels.
And to be honest with you, YouTube is huge.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm not saying being like a content creator, you know, but being like my career was based off of photography. Like, I went to school for video.
Learning it. Yeah.
But I learned photography basically from YouTube.
Well, what I do now as a financial advisor,
Yeah.
you don't have to have any degrees or schooling. You just got to go pass the state licensure exams and then connect yourself with a brokerage that's going to teach you how to practically work with clients.
Were you nervous taking the test?
No. I love tests. I'm really, really good at tests.
You're a problem. Like, that's not a good thing.
So like if we're sitting
uncomfortable situations, like, oh yeah, is this a problem? Where you're like, no. So, okay. So then what are your fears? Like, what is it? Like, what's your biggest problem? Like, because, like, oh, you deal with people okay. You deal with kids okay. Like, uncomfortable situations, you're like, oh, yeah, those are my favorite.
But no, like, my mom prepped me for that. I mean, I was in 7th grade. She put me on a plane to Haiti with a bunch of college kids to go do a medical mission trip, you know, like, and while we were there, the hotel we were in, they rioted outside of it. And they were like burning cars. And I'm looking out the window and I'm going, this is awesome. This is going to be a great story. And everybody else is like, ooh, how are we going to get out? And I'm like, no, don't focus on that. Don't worry about that. Just think about the story we'll be able to tell, you know? So I just
had some trauma.
I thrive on. I mean,
that's a little. I feel like there's an unhealthy part. Like, worry and scared are natural human things.
I mean,
they can help for survival. But I guess you're here. You made it.
I did. Yeah. I didn't feel like there was anything to be afraid of. I figured, the adults will take care of it. You know, like I'm just going to enjoy this experience. So I don't know. I mean, there are things I'm afraid of. You know, I'm.
Because you do life insurance, so death you talk about it all the time, but you're not afraid of death because you probably talk about it all the time.
I do, yeah. I'm really not afraid of it. Plus, I know where I'm going if I die, right. You know, and a lot of people, like, you can tell people, but they're not going to necessarily listen, you know. So I'm just saying, like, I think I'm scared of failing as a parent. Like, I'm scared of my kids growing up and really, you know, failing hard where I could have helped that. I mean, I know that they're going to be responsible for their actions, but I'm afraid of that. I'm afraid of, you know, failing Kevin and not being enough for him.
Yeah. Now, hold on. This is about a little counseling. Now, is that based out of insecurity, you feel as though? Or do you feel like that's just like a personal goal? Or do you feel like there's something there that you've ever, like, were failed before to where you're like, oh, I really let somebody down. I don't want it to ever happen again?
I just feel like I'm not infallible. Like, I'm not beyond failure. And so, like, as much as we try to work on our marriage and try to spend time together, as much as I try to pour into my kids, I know, like, it's not 100% foolproof. Like, there are things I can have the best intentions and I can really work hard at something, but it doesn't mean that there's going to be success in that. So, you know, like there's no evidence that I am currently failing or that I probably will, but
sure.
I don't know.
But it's a mentality thing. Like, you can't be static. It has to be constantly, like, if it's not moving forward, then it could be moving backwards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, like, or it is moving back, whatever they say that analogy is, you know. So
Yeah.
Right. So if you're not constantly having that.
Well, and I think I'm a people pleaser.
Right.
So if those are the most, I mean, it makes sense. If those are the most important people in my life,
right.
Like, number one, I just don't want to let them down. So I think that's it.
Yeah.
Because we've talked about, like, what if we're bankrupt and we have zero money? You know, and we've planned out, okay, well, as long as we keep 10 grand stashed in the mattress, we can buy this camper and park it in different people's driveways and we can figure it out, you know, as long as we're together. And
I feel like you're a person that would be like, oh man, if that happened, it wouldn't be the worst because that sounds like a fun adventure.
Right. Well, I mean, when I lived in Orlando, I was homeless technically for about a month and a half over the Thanksgiving and Christmas break. And
how old were you then?
Couch hopping. I was working at Disney, so I was 22, 23.
Were you with Kevin at the time?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
We were dating, but he was in Alabama, so we just talked on the phone. But it was me and my friend, and we would, we slept in our car a couple of nights. We slept in the tunnels under Disney.
Did you legit sleep in the tunnels under Disney?
Yeah.
What are they? I don't think this is retro. I don't think.
Sneak around.
Hold on.
So the security
what is it?
guards
What's the
statute of limitations?
The statute of limitations. I don't know if they do have their own police.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they're coming after you.
And one night I was asleep and I heard some rustling. I was in one of the break rooms, and one of my friends, I guess he knew like what we were doing. He had brought like some donuts and left them there for me to like find in the morning. Like anyway, but it was so neat to see how God provided like the couches that we hopped from, and like I knew we'd be taken care of. It would be fine, So even if the worst thing happened and we lost our house and we lost
you
everything,
figure it out.
Yeah, as long as we're together,
It's too much of a positive mentality. I don't
I'm so
want
to. I'm so sorry.
It's really. Also, you're apologizing for being a good person.
I'm so sorry.
My counselor would say you're not allowed to apologize for something you didn't do wrong.
Okay.
If you did something wrong, that's okay to apologize, but
Okay.
you didn't do anything wrong.
It's not wrong to like be overly positive. I mean, the Bible does say,
but
that's like vinegar to the teeth.
But apologizing is different than being overly positive.
Okay.
Apologizing is like you're like taking like a lower than, less than submissive role that you're not seeing yourself as like, well, you are valued, but you know what I mean? Like there's a difference between apologizing for literally nothing to, I just want to be nice and cordial and tactful.
There you
right?
go.
Those are two different things.
Yes, very different.
I would say so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
But
I agree.
Also, I say sorry. I used to say sorry all the time.
Me too.
Until now, I just use my counselor as an excuse.
There you go.
To where it's like, I would normally say sorry in this situation, but I'm not allowed to. And that's just exactly what I would say.
Perfect.
That's what I would tell her.
Perfect. I love it. I'm not allowed to. I'm going to hide behind that.
I feel really bad, the fact that what's happening to you, and I just over-explain, and I'm like, I'm not sorry because I didn't do anything wrong.
Right,
but
right.
I'm here for you.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I would do.
Empathetic to your circumstances.
Right.
You can say that.
And then that's over-explaining. They're like, I don't really care.
It's long.
This is way too
the
far.
The moment has passed.
Yes. Yeah, and then I just leave still feeling less than. It's okay. I'm working on me. I'm working on me.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. There you go. There you go.
Okay, so we got out the fact that you were couch hopping.
Yeah.
That's for a month and a half.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now.
It was fine.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah. I was funny. I just listened to something and a guy talked about, this is really perverted and bad, but he was going on Tinder dates because he was homeless.
Oh, wow.
And he was like,
he needed a place to sleep.
he needed a place to sleep. And I was like,
that's not the kind of house shop.
No. And I'm just like, I'm like,
I was doing. I promise.
He wasn't that attractive. I was like, really? He could do that? Anyways, it's kind of gross.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross.
Yeah.
It's kind of gross. And like, I'm like, at one point, did he eventually start to feel bad about himself? Like, what is he like? I'm just not that kind of guy,
Yeah.
To where like I could take advantage of that,
No.
or even I mean, women would do the same thing, to some degree. But it's like, I don't know. That's a little much.
Yeah. That's not cool.
He needs counseling.
Yeah. He needs a job. Yeah.
He needs a job. You probably need a job. Hey,
Yeah.
do you have an opening for your?
Nope. We're fully stocked.
Are you sure?
No openings.
I'm not going to tell you who he is. I'm just going to. You're going to
Nope.
5 people coming your way.
No. Not interested. No.
That's really funny. All right. Did I get through everything? Okay. I roughly did. So, yeah. I mean, it's really cool that you came and did this, by the way. Basically the first recording with another human. I have friends.
So this is pretty rough, guys. It will get better. I'm so sorry.
Yes. Maybe not. Just
not
lower your
allowed to say
expectations. Just lower the expectations. I think I need to have more alcohol involved. I'm just joking.
Okay, that works.
Brett, it's
That would be fun.
10. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. I did crank up the caffeine to get that going. But I think there was a lot to learn from this. You actually did use your schooling, so it is a possibility, but you also don't have the opinion of like, listen, you got to figure out where you're going to go and what you're going to do. I'm right there with you don't just start throwing. I mean, I think that's the thing what we do as a society. We're like, oh, schooling, high school, college. At least that's what we used to do.
Yeah.
And some people are still stuck in that. And I'm like, I don't know. I say you gotta, if you don't know what you're gonna do, chill out. Like figure out what you want to do before you like decide you need to go to school for it.
Find a passion.
Yeah.
Even if that's serving somewhere or working. Find a way to find what you're passionate about. But when I counsel parents about wanting to save for their kids' college, right? Because I have a lot of parents who come and they say, we want to save for our kids' college. What's the best account to do that for? And I try to counsel them with, you don't know the future. Good or bad. What if they decide they want to join the military? Then their college would be paid for through that if they ever did do college, and all that money you saved. Think through these things, right? What if they decide they don't want to go to college, right? Maybe they want to jump right into an entrepreneurial role,
right?
Or maybe,
which is a lot easier to do nowadays.
Yes, well, and I think it's encouraged. Yeah. It's really encouraged in our gig economy, but I would say, even if they get a full ride.
Word of the day, gig economy.
Yeah? Is that good?
I don't know.
Is that good?
I'm just going to make
better
it
than regional vice president.
regional to the vice president. Hold on. Don't mock my spelling. Okay?
It's hard.
I know what I was saying.
Yeah. But even if, maybe they excel in their academics and they get a full ride.
Yeah.
Then all that money you've saved that goes toward tuition, in specific accounts may go toward these different things. Like, think about, you don't know what your kid's going to want to do. You don't know their future. So it can be important to have your goals very flexible, Yeah. But then that also takes pressure off the kid. We saved all this money for you to go to this school. And they're like, well, I guess I got to go. I don't know what I want to study, so I'm just going to party 2 years away,
Yeah.
So,
and next thing you know, somebody's pregnant.
Oh.
2023 could be a guy now.
Wow. Man. We took a left turn. Yeah. Woo.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. We're not political in any way, shape, or form. But, yeah. Okay. I think it's good to wrap this up. Guys, thank you. Anya, thank you for being here. Yeah. This was amazing.
This was really fun.
This was fun. And that was the idea. This is going to be fun and stupid and hopefully there's a few nuggets in here that, people enjoy. All right. Great. I'm done. There we go.
You just end it with a sigh. I'm done.
Yeah.